Hi, I am your host, Lyanette Talley, and you are listening to Virago 24/7. Virago is Latin for female warrior, and 24/7 is for all day, every day. Virago 24/7 is a weekly podcast that brings diverse women together to talk about life and our experiences in this world. We share our views on self-love, mental health, marriage, children, friendships, and really anything that needs to be talked about. Here, you will find everyday growth, everyday healing with everyday warriors. Just give me my space to move. 'Cause it's my thoughts, what I want, and I want what I want. Hi, everyone. We are back recording, and I have my friend Jenna Walston with me today. Today is February 1st. It's the month of love. All things love. And I don't really celebrate Valentine's Day. Do you, Jenna?
I love Valentine's Day, girl. You know, I even decorate for it.
Yeah, you do. I mean, we do things with the kids, but it's not like for me, it's not like a romantic. It used to be, but then it evolved into, probably because I get the romance year round, maybe. I don't know.
How sweet is that? That's a great reason not to.
I don't know.
It's Valentine's Day every month for us.
Yes, it's always. Actually, we've told the kids that. They're like, Daddy, why don't you guys do stuff? It's like, because it's every day is Valentine's Day.
That's wonderful.
I know that sounds cheesy, but
no, I love romance.
It's true.
I like surprises. I like romance. It doesn't always have to happen on Valentine's Day.
That's
true. It doesn't happen often, it certainly should happen.
It should. I agree. For those, I agree. Yeah. For those who don't get it year round, they better get it on Valentine's Day.
Very important to show love.
Yes.
Yeah.
So one of the topics that you wanted to talk about was about self-love, entering this wonderful month of love. And I said, that is a really, really good topic. I love that. And when we think of self-love, I think people think the things that we do for ourselves, like bubble baths and spas and alone time, and all of those things are wonderful. However, I have learned in speaking with other people that that's not really what self-love truly means. And it's kind of opened my eyes to what it is. And I found an article, it's theselfspace.com. And I'll just read a paragraph that I found to be so beautiful on how this person explained self-love. And so it says, it can be great to have alone time, to have a bath, to cook ourselves a nice meal for one, but this isn't self-love. It's more self-reliance and self-sufficiency. Self-love, on the other hand, is linked to self-esteem, it being our ability to see ourselves as a flawed, imperfect individual and still hold ourselves in high regard. Self-love is the ability to not fall into a puddle of shame or self-hatred even when we mess up. It's trying new things knowing that we could fail without thinking of ourselves, therefore, as failures. So I thought that was a beautiful way of describing what that means. And then it goes on, to go into detail about it and how hard it is to love ourselves. And the process is very difficult. Mm-hmm. So Jenna, that being said, how are we doing with self-love over there?
I'm trying to figure out who I am to even love first. Mm-hmm. I've spent my whole life people pleasing, making sure everybody else felt loved. Mm-hmm. But I'm not a good self-care person. I never have been, really. I feel like sleeping in would be self-care to me. Having a night off from kids would be self-care to me. But right now I'm just trying to figure out who am I and do the work to figure it out. Reading some books, taking some love language test, which is awesome, enneagrams that we did.
Yep.
Just trying to figure out who I am so I can figure out what it is that I need. Because I don't even know what I need.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I've been so consumed with my 3 children and James that it's time to look at Jenna. And I'm excited because I'm excited to self-love. I love taking care of myself.
Yeah.
But I was looking for someone else to do it. Mm-hmm. I was looking for someone else to make me feel that way. And you can't go into a healthy relationship when you don't love yourself.
Yeah.
And I thought I loved myself because I had confidence and friends and, always did well in business. That wasn't loving myself. It was just going through feeling good, loving others. Mm-hmm. It makes me feel so good to do that.
That's not a negative.
It's not a negative.
That's beautiful.
But you have to be in the equation.
Yeah.
It's that old put your own oxygen mask on first. Mm-hmm. If you're not genuinely at peace with who you are.
Yeah.
And I say that because it can change so quickly though too. Like, damn, I was just in peace and look at what happened. Mm-hmm. And it was going so well. So I don't know. I guess it's trying to figure out not to beat myself up.
Yeah. And that's what I got from that paragraph is when we mess up, because we will as humans, we will, not to get so down on yourselves and lose that confidence, that self-esteem over one little incident.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's overcoming that and understanding, okay, I'm going to mess up. What did I learn from this? Mm-hmm. Let's move on.
And teaching the kids that as well. Mm-hmm. I think that's a good thing that if we model that, hopefully they will pick it up as well. Yeah. So I don't know. When my kids see me running around exhausted and caring for everyone but them, what am I teaching them? Yeah. That it's all about others or self, Mm-hmm. I think we did talk about my friend Barb that told me she was so tired of hearing people say that referring to people pleasing in a negative condensation. Like she did not like that it was, everybody says,
it's become negative.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Like, don't be a self-pleaser, self-love or people pleaser.
Don't be a people pleaser.
Don't be a people pleaser, mm-hmm. Self-love, all about you, take care of you first. And she's like, this is what's wrong with our country. And that's when I love talking to the elders because she's like, people pleasing is a beautiful thing. That's what keeps community together. Mm-hmm. You make sure everybody's getting their needs met. You make sure everybody's happy. You just have to be in the equation. That's what's missing. Not the people pleasing is a negative thing. Yeah. We're missing that everyone's not involved in it.
That is so smart.
Isn't that a brilliant way to look at it?
So there's nothing wrong with people pleasing if you're taking care of yourself as well.
Yeah.
It's that most people please.
It's the most beautiful thing you could do is to be self-love and give. You have a full bucket. But everybody is so stuck in this, like, don't worry about anybody else. Take care of yourself.
All about me. Yeah.
It's all about me, me. And, I'm just passionate about it, as you know, because I'm watching what the kids are watching. Mm-hmm. I'm seeing what's happening here and the depression and suicide and where's their self-love? Watching other people, feeling not enough. Yeah. Just scrolling and if it doesn't keep their attention for what? They say you got to get their attention in 3 seconds or they scroll. So that is...
yeah. I mean, speaking of like suicide, I was reading an article that Miss USA committed suicide.
I heard that in New York.
Yeah, and so I was reading a little bit, and she wrote this essay. She was only 30 years old, and I was reading that she wrote this essay right before she turned 30, and she was, let me find it. Okay, she wrote a little bit about, she says, society has never been kind to those growing old, especially women. So she was getting, it sounds like she was getting kind of weary by turning 30. It says, turning 30 feels like a cold reminder that I'm running out of time to matter in society's eyes, and it's infuriating. So it's just so sad because that goes back to like self-love. Like, and then it goes on that she was, people were hating on her because she's a Black girl with beautiful curly hair, and she's muscular. And so I guess they were, talking about her body and her hair, and that's just so, is so sad to see such a beautiful girl going through that because of the pressures of our society. And her thinking that 30 is old and yeah,
girl, you're just a baby.
But it's true. I mean, that's what is put in our heads.
Well, especially if you're a model. I mean, your days are limited, just like an athlete's days are limited. I'm sure to her, that was like the clock's ticking and I haven't even made it yet. Yeah. Where people don't understand if you do perseverance, in a year's time, it could have been something totally different for her. Maybe she spoke up about it. Maybe she took a stand, had someone behind her, helping her, giving her strength.
Yeah.
Rather than being belittled.
Yeah.
But that goes back to technology.
Mm-hmm.
It's in her face.
Yeah.
That's why they say you don't want to be famous unless you have,
Yeah. Like tough skin.
To be able to take all the criticism. But
that just broke my heart because you look at someone on the outside and you think, oh, she's gorgeous and she's this and she's Miss USA, but the internal dialogue,
you never know what
the internal dialogue is so. I mean, what we tell ourselves is just so negative. Sometimes I'm reading this book. What does that say over there, Jenna? My book over there, Winning the War in Our Minds.
Yes.
And it's pretty much, I'm only on chapter 3, but it's, pretty much going over the lies that we tell ourselves.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah, the lies that we tell ourselves. And we have to realize when it's a lie, which is really, really hard because if it's something that we tell ourselves over and over and over again, we start to believe it. Mm-hmm. And so in reading this book, and then at the end of every chapter, it kind of gives you questions to kind of get your mind going and what lies, are you telling yourself? And I wrote down not worthy, not enough. Mm-hmm. And I'm starting to get away from those lies because those were really just
heavy on you.
Oh, very heavy. But it still comes in my head every now and then. So it's really hard to realize, okay, that's a lie. That's not who I am. I'm growing, I'm learning, like just reminding myself that that's not who I am. Mm-hmm. And that's not who I want to tell myself that I am. Mm-hmm. So girl, this self-love thing. It's certainly not how you present yourself.
Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's the thing. Mm-hmm. Everybody looked at us and we were so happy and beautiful and you don't know what's going on inside.
Yeah.
Very sad.
So self-love, we're all trying to accomplish that. We're all striving for that, but damn, is it hard.
Every day is.
Yeah.
It really is.
Yeah.
Especially if you're a mom. I mean, we're not even talking about that because the thing that, you want to talk about love. I could talk about some love that's really upsetting to me. The love that a mother gives continuously, that only a mother can give, right? Mm-hmm. But why is that? Why is that it's all on us mentally? All of it. And it's taken so lightly when we're trying to nurture broken hearts, things that they don't understand because their brains have not fully developed yet. Mm-hmm. I don't know about your house, but my house with 3 kids, every single day, at least 2 of them they need mental help. Mm-hmm. They want.
In your house, there's a lot going on too.
Ooh,
yeah,
girl, yes.
Yeah. There's a lot going on.
A lot of transition, a lot of change.
A lot of change.
But I'm so kind of happy for it now because we're all becoming such smarter people with our emotions, and we're more aware of what we do, how it affects others. And I'm in teenage years with 2 of them. Like, please, let's just leave that one in itself. I mean, anybody who's had a teenager is like, what? Yeah. Now I'm looking at people that have people or kids in their 20s. I'm like, whew, you made it? Like, I'm just entering it.
Girl, no. We did not make it.
You're still
No, I'm still in it. Mine is about to be 21 next month, and we're still in the thick of it. So.
Oh, gosh. Mm-mm. You know what's so funny? She said the same thing to me.
Really?
In about the same way. Yeah. Like, oh, it's not over yet.
No.
But those teenage years are hard. But there's a whole nother level. Mm-hmm. So it doesn't ever stop. But it's just... I don't know. I know nature versus nurture and men and women and Mars and Venus, but I just think it's really lousy that a lot of it is falling on the women. I think it's time for men to step up, get some emotional mental help for themselves so they can also provide for their children emotionally.
Yeah.
I think it would be a great movement for the men.
Yeah. Do you think, because with this whole self-love movement, it is kind of geared towards women most of the time, like, women, love yourself, blah, blah. So, I mean, it applies to men too.
What about the men?
Yeah, and it sounds like they are just shoving that down or providing, which a lot of these men, that's what they're doing. That's how they show, quote unquote, their love. Oh, yeah. And they're not really
happy.
Yeah, because they don't have that self-love either.
Yeah. No, because it's never enough. It's any man in my area, in my circle of people, the men can't provide enough in this area because it's never enough.
Yeah.
We live in a very affluent area where there's always someone, doing, going, whatever. The kids are, well, how come they have this and we don't? And, we're not about keeping up with the Joneses, but when you're in it, you see it.
Yeah.
And I see women numbing themselves and men shoving it down.
Yeah.
It's more common, sadly, than you see a healthy marriage. Yeah. Like, not to be in people's business, but I'm just seeing a lot of numbing going on.
Yeah.
And it's all, our generation of men were taught not to cry, not to feel, toughen it up. You're a boy.
Yeah.
Or you should be able to handle a nice, hard whooping, toughen you up.
Yeah.
We don't need to toughen people up. We need to soften people. Like, you don't need to toughen people up for the world. You need to put softer people in the world. It's just sad to me to see all these broken men, who cannot communicate, and to see all these broken women who do communicate, but are just tired of not being heard.
Yeah.
So they numb themselves up because the men hear it as another complaint instead of a request.
Yes.
And that I learned from a therapist, and it'll change you when you think about this. So when someone comes to you and they're like, Lyanette, blah, 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 blah. And you're just hearing want, like complaints. But if you immediately catch yourself going there, which I would after a while, and anybody does with any relationship after a while, you're like, I already know what you're going to say. Been here a million times. But if you stop when you want to be that way and shift it to, what are they requesting?
Yeah.
These are not complaints. They're things that they need. They're requests. Yeah. But we all hear them as complaints. Yeah. It's another thing you got to do.
That's so funny that you bring that up, because Philip and I what's today? Today's Tuesday. So him and I got in an argument on Sunday. To hear more amazing female warrior stories, hit that subscribe button and give us a 5-star rating. We would truly appreciate the love. Now back to our show. And instead of listening, I was, like you said, I already know what he's going to say, like putting words in his mouth. So we haven't really talked.
Oh, dear.
Yeah, we didn't talk all day Sunday, all day yesterday. So this morning, I'm like, okay, let me humble myself, because he was the one that got upset with me.
Okay.
And I thought it was trivial. So he says that I'm flippant about things. And so I had to humble myself this morning, and I'm like, I'm sorry. Like, it's so hard when someone, like you said, like, it seems like it's not nagging, but
complaints,
but it's just like, this is who I am. That's what I really want to say. That's what I want to say. But I had to humble myself today. And I was like, I'm sorry. I need to take your feelings into account. I'm learning. I'm still learning and growing. I don't know what I said, but, and so I apologized.
Good for you.
Which, if anybody knows, I feel like I'm always right. And in most instances, I am right. That. So it is hard for me to accept responsibility a lot of times. So we're going through that right now. And so then he says, thank you. Let's talk tonight after dinner. So I'm like, oh shit.
You have finally come in the appropriate manner with an apology.
The principal wants to talk to me after school. So I'll let you know how that goes.
Make sure there's wine and cheese and crackers.
But no, it is. It's one of those things where I guess when we were in the middle of it, I just wasn't hearing him. And he's like, well, this is what you talk about on your podcast. And I'm like, so now you're calling me a phony because, I'm like, you're calling me a phony because I talk about these things and now you're acting like I'm not following my own advice. And it's like, I'm not perfect.
I was just going to say that.
I'm so flawed.
There's
and just because I talk about it doesn't mean I'm like proficient at it.
Exactly.
So yeah, we're going through that right now.
I'm proud of you to do that. I know it had to take a lot, but that's true growth. That's what keeps people together when you can take that break.
Yes.
I don't like silence. I don't think I would have made it that long. I need to talk about this now.
Well, the only reason I like silence is because I'm very quick to use my words as a weapon. And if I do it in the moment,
It's not nice.
It's going to get worse.
Yeah.
And
so to cool down.
Yeah.
That's good.
And oh, girl, the things that go through my head are so mean that I'm like, if I verbalize this, it's going to be like a battle. And so that's why I need space, because I need to calm down. I need to realize.
You can't take those words back.
Yeah, exactly.
That's
so
great.
I need silence.
Yeah.
Trust me. Because, and I have to really force myself to like, keep my mouth like literally shut, because I'm like, if I open it, these things are going to fly out and it's going to make it worse. So.
Well, there you go. Talking about love in February.
So there you go, everyone.
Maybe you'll make up February 1st. Start the month out right.
So there we go, everybody. We're practicing what we're preaching.
We're not phonies.
And it sucks.
We're human.
I don't think he was going to say that, but he was implying it, so I just put those words in his mouth.
That's hilarious.
I was
but that's how it would make you feel.
Yeah.
There's things that I've said on here, and I've listened to it later. I'm like, gosh, that doesn't sound like me. Mm-hmm. It doesn't at sometimes, but absolutely where I'm at and absolutely what I'm feeling. But it's kind of like what's going on now.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Changes weekly.
Yep.
That was last week.
Yeah. Yes.
I'm a new woman this week because I learned how to apologize.
Yes. I mean, this is not the first time I've apologized. However, I'm the one that normally gets upset and needs an apology. So, yeah.
Too funny.
It's So going back to self-love is knowing that that our failures aren't who we are, Mm-hmm. So anyways, I don't know what's going to happen tonight. Wish me luck, everyone.
I think you'll be fine.
I think we'll be fine too.
He loves you through it. You guys have grown so much together that it's beautiful.
That's true.
I mean, it's life, right?
Yeah.
We all have our moments.
Yeah.
We all have our good times, our bad times. It's who stays there through it.
That's true.
Yeah. And there's only so much bad one can take. So you lost your cool, I guess.
No, I was like nonchalant about it, which pisses him off.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, that's the worst. It's like, it's not that serious. Like, why are you getting so upset? It's not that serious. Like, why are you being such a weirdo and making it a big deal?
Imagine if someone talked to you like that. You'd punch him in the face.
Oh, I know.
That Lyanette childhood girl would come out.
I know.
You'd picture it.
Well, it's crazy because, not crazy. It's funny because he's like, I've never done that to you. And I have like 10 examples of how he's been flippant in the past. And so I was like, oh, we're not going to go back to the past because that's just going to open a can of worms, but I can give you examples if you need them. He's like, well, how about the last 2 years? I'm like, so we're going to put like limits on the examples that I give you. Because he knows in the past 2 years he's been really good.
Good for him.
Nothing before 2 years ago, because I know what you're going to say.
God, bringing out the past is nothing
and I
for
didn't.
anyone.
And I didn't. And that's why I said I need my space and my quiet and my silence, because it can get worse.
When people bring up the past, they're still hurt.
Yeah. And I have a very unhealthy relationship with the past.
Yeah.
And I tend to like to bring it up. And so I'm trying not to be that person.
Because
let's just focus on what's happening now. And not.
It's a lot easier when you do that. But to me, poor behaviors were excused with that. It just, how do you say that? It was like, oh, well, let's just move forward now.
Yeah.
And just excuse all that.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's easier. Let's go ahead and do that. But how many times can you excuse it and keep moving forward?
Well, I think with us, we've already acknowledged it, talked about it to death.
Yeah.
And he's apologized, I apologized, but I would still bring it up after it was already laid to rest.
Oh, you can't
as a weapon. And that's the thing. I haven't done that in a while because that is not healthy.
But did you feel it was laid to rest? Why are you still bringing it up? It's not laid to rest with you.
Because I'm mean in arguments, Jenna. I get very like I need to win this, and that's not a good mindset to have. I will show you that this is what you've done in the past, so I can be excused to my behavior now.
Off the hook. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's not a good way of doing things.
I've been there. I've done that.
Yeah, so I haven't done that in a while, and so I wasn't going to do that on Sunday, even though he requested that I give examples, but I was not going to do that.
Good for you. Good for you. You thought of them all.
I did. And they're still in my back pocket if you want them.
Nicely written out.
Oh, man. Oh, yeah, I can write them out for you so that you have a visual.
Yeah.
Girl, so listen, we all go through this shit, and it's just how we handle it and how we look within ourselves to what can I do to make this better and not worse. Mm-hmm. And so
for all those around us, you know?
Yeah. And I think honestly, this going back to self-love, I feel like this whole journey of me accepting who I am and working on who I am really does help when there is conflict, because when you're down on yourself and you don't have that self-esteem, it's like you have to fight for yourself.
Well, because you can't handle any more blows.
Exactly.
They don't know you already beat yourself up 20 times.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. And so now you're piling on more. So now I feel like I have to defend my character.
And that's why people cry at the first bit. Like, you have no idea how low I am, although I look fabulous.
Yeah.
You know, like right now I'm by a thread.
Yep.
Yeah.
So knowing that I've come a long way, I didn't feel the need to make it worse like I would in the past. It's huge actually. So
yeah,
I'm not sharing this to pat myself on the back, but I kind of am. I kind of am. I'm like, I've come a long way because self-love is so important, and the confidence that you have in yourself is so important, so that when there is conflict, you don't take it too personally. It's like I don't take it to be that I'm this horrible person. It's just I did.
Thank you for your opinion.
Yeah,
that's where I get right now. Thank you for your opinion. I'll take that into consideration.
Oh man, but damn.
Yeah.
Some days I just wish that I can just be an asshole all the time. That would be easier. God. I know I've said this before, but it would be so much easier.
I would have a blast doing that too. I have a list I'd start with.
Yeah.
I'm ready. Shall we do it tomorrow?
Let's do it.
Let's roll that sun up.
Let's just have one day of being assholes. And not watching what we say and watching, but hey, it'll pay off one day for us, Jenna.
We're taking the hard road and the high road, and that's the right road.
Yeah.
I don't really like to be around mean people and be mean.
No.
Although.
I mean, I laugh at that, but I wouldn't. Mm-hmm. I don't want to be that person either.
Who was it? Oh, gosh, when we were at that concert and I took it out on that poor lady.
Ooh.
Remember? There you go. That's
you
taking pent up.
Yeah.
No.
She was being an a-hole, though.
She had it coming to her, but the way I handled it was with anger. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It was with, I thought, lady, I'm not going to see you again, and you have crossed the line, and I have permission to do this to you. And I unloaded on her.
Well, we went to a concert, Jenna and I, and we were talking before the person even came on stage. Or I think it was it was a
music or something.
Yeah, and it wasn't a concert. It was a comedy show. Uh-huh. And she shushed us.
Because we love to talk.
Because we're so talkative and our voices are not quiet. So I get it. However, I don't get it. But she kept shushing us, and then she kept giving us the evil eye. And Jenna flipped out on her. But I think it's also because she was trying to silence you, and you've been silenced enough.
Oh my God. You're so right. That was the trigger.
Yeah.
That was the trigger.
Yeah, you've been silenced a lot in your life.
I can't even be myself in public.
Anywhere.
In an open arena filled with noise.
Yeah.
You're right.
And laughter. And we were laughing, I guess, too loud for her, because then she would look at us. I'm like, dude, we're laughing. This is a comedy show. Take the stick out your ass and start laughing and stop worrying about us. Worry about yourself, damn it. Worry about yourself. But I feel like that's what set you off.
Right. Yeah, because I haven't had a voice.
Yeah.
You know,
and here's a stranger trying to shush you up.
Oh my goodness, you are so. And I was feeling hot that night. I had my ass kicking boots on.
Yes, you did.
I'm a kicker. I kick.
Yeah. So it was a little altercation, and
well, we didn't touch each other.
No. It was verbal, and then they called the I don't know what she was.
Security. Yeah, she called security on me.
So I was the middleman, and I had to talk to security, and she was lovely.
What's so funny is it's normally you that is the one.
I was like, listen, we
switched roles.
We both can't be crazy tonight. One has to be like the sane one. But no, I felt you. I'm like, she's saying it for the both of us.
Yeah.
She's speaking I don't need to jump in. She's doing a great job by herself.
Right.
So anyways, they moved the other girl. They didn't move us. They moved her.
Trigger.
It was a trigger.
Girl, you just pointed something out. That was so it.
Yeah.
I don't like to be told that my opinion doesn't matter. My voice doesn't matter.
Like you're too much.
Oh, let's not even go there.
I know.
I've been too much my whole life.
I know.
I've been too much my whole life.
And so that was another person just telling you you're too much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm about done with that.
Yeah.
You're too little. Go away. Step out of my way.
Yeah.
Go. Or I'll kick you.
Yeah. No, it's true.
You're so right. Wow, that's an aha moment for me.
So many aha moments, girl. But we're going to continue on this journey of self-love and self-discovery. And hopefully everyone listening is on that same journey.
Absolutely. I hope we share something to inspire someone to let them know they're not alone.
Mm-hmm. We're all a little crazy.
Absolutely.
We're all a little triggered.
I mean, I've got all kinds of trains that carry all kinds of things.
Yeah.
The happy train.
Oh my gosh. All right, Jenna, as always, thank you so much for coming on the show. We have many shows ahead of us.
Yes, we do.
You're going to be a permanent fixture on Virago 24/7, so get ready, everybody.
Look forward to it.
All right, so I'm going to end with this that I found. It says, I can make the choice every day to feel good about myself and about my life. Self-acceptance, self-love, and self-care are habits that I choose to cultivate. Loving life is something I'm practicing. Today is the perfect day to be happy. I choose to fall in love with my life. I choose to feel good today.
It's beautiful.
Bye.
See ya.
See ya. Thank you so much for listening to Virago 24/7. If you haven't done so already, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And please give us 5-star ratings. Also, don't forget to follow us on Instagram at Virago24_7 and on Facebook at Virago24/7. And just connect with us and share your story. We'd love to hear from you.
Just give me my space to